Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas everybody. We hope you have a fantastic Christmas and a happy new year. So what I wanted to do with this video, there is a purpose behind it, so let me get into what the video is. So we want to go down memory lane. We want to have a look at the 6 most profitable projects that we've called out on this channel over the last 12 to 13 months. Now, why do I want to do this and what's the message behind it? You know, if there's one thing that I really wanted people to take from this channel and really listen to, the one sentence that I'd want people to really listen to and take on board is the fact that bear market is where generational level wealth is made, right? So we started this channel back in like October 2020. We were purchasing throughout the year in the bear market, and we actually started a little bit earlier on a previous channel, but we won't get into that. But basically, in a nutshell, we were buying in the bear market. We were talking about these projects before the bull cycle really began. Now, that's where the generational level wealth is made, right? So we're going to sort of talk through these 6 projects, highlighting them to you, and sort of talk through, if you invested $1,000 when we first talked about it into each one of these projects, how much would you have for each and overall? Right, so it's an interesting sort of topic. Do let me know in the comments below whether you guess all 6. Really interested to get your views and opinions on these projects. Now, there is one project out of these 6 where I think there is immense gains still on the table. So we're going to delve into that as well, sort of go through my reasoning why I believe this. Obviously, it's not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and you should definitely go do your research. The one thing to remember: bear market is where you want to be watching this channel. It's where all the generational level wealth is made, and we expect that to be the same in the next cycle as well, right? So if you like this sort of content, mash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. And don't forget to check out our Discord. Link is in the description of the video. It's free to join. We've set up chat rooms at project level so you can talk about the projects you love 24/7 with like-minded individuals. We also have a Patreon service where we do live AMAs with members, where you can ask us anything, a bit like Teams chats, that sort of stuff. So we would love to have you as a member, so do check that out as well. Link is in the description. Right, so let's sort of get into these projects. Sort of talk through which one I'm like really bullish on. I think there's huge gains still on the table, right? So early, right? So let's get down to the desktop. Let's have a look at these projects. Okay, so which is the first project, do you think, right, that we sort of called out? So that would be 𝗕𝗃, right? So we called out 𝗕𝗃 on the 8th of November 2020. It was 2 cents at the time. If you invested $1,000, you'd have got 63,775 tokens, roughly. The price today is $2.62 at the time of recording. That would be $167. $167,000. Wow. So huge call and a fantastic project. Now, I do think this project's going to continue to do really well. But yeah, it's the next one that I'm really interested in, right? So can you guess what it is? Of course, it's Harmony One. We called this one out back on the 18th of October. This project, when we first called it out, right? Crikey. It was literally, you can see it here, 0.004185, less than 0.5%. Less than 0.5%. Now, if you invested $1,000, you'd have got 238,948 tokens, right? The price today is just over 25 cents, almost 25.5 cents. So at the time of recording, if you were to have done all of this and sold, you'd have over $60,000. $60,000, right? Now, this is the project where I think it could potentially leapfrog this one, right? Just my opinion, right? So let's sort of get into why that is, right? So if we have a look here, right, we'll have a look at the ecosystem, right? It is growing and growing and growing, right? So the top weekly projects, you've got these ones here. There is so many. So There's B2B, there's 10 of them. Bridge 4, DAO, there's 19 DAOs now. dApps 77, DeFi 64, DevTools 20, exchanges, there's 29 exchanges. Fiat gateways, there's 14, games, there's 16, NFT, there's 36. This is just growing and growing and growing, right? So look at all these projects. And for me, like, this is just the start for Harmony. You've still got the Bitcoin bridge to come. I think that's imminent. But if you just have a look at all these projects that are starting to come on board right now, there is also funding available on Harmony, right, for projects. So I do expect this to grow and grow and grow. And you know, for me, it's one of those projects where I think 25 cent 62. There's just so much more growth in this. You know, we've said this time and time again, but we're actually starting to see so much more happening. If we have a look over at EVI, it has it classed overall as a C1. It's up for the 7-day change 29.4%. You know, I really do think this is a really ample opportunity. Now, this isn't a shill. It makes no odds to me whether you invest in this project or not. Like, but I am going to call it as I see it right now. If we go back to here, you know, $60,000, it's a lot, but I think it's going to do a matic, and I've said this before. So, you know, fantastic project. And you know, this is one we called out on the 18th of October. So let's have a look at the third one. Now, this isn't one that we really like on this channel. It's just one that we've been talking about a long time, and that is ETH. Now, I was one of the first people to call out ETH to 10K. So we called this one out on the 7th of October, was when we first started really talking about ETH. It's kind of one of the main players, so it was obviously going to be one, you know, that was going to probably make this list. So it was 181.19 when we first started talking about this one. If you spent $1,000, you could have got 5.5 ETH. That is now 4,000, well, just over $4,000 a coin, which means you'd have over 22.5K. Now, I think this has got huge growth in it, just like I'm saying one has. Not to the same level as one, but we are expecting this to more than double. So, you know, potentially you could see, you know, that about 45K roughly, you know, at the peak of the bull run, in my opinion. But do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments. Really interested to know. Can you guess the fourth project? So this is Chiliz. This is one, and I talk about it on the channel a lot. We talked about it, but I didn't actually invest in it. We started talking about this one on the 20th of December. You know, this one was, you know, just over 1.5 cent when we called it out. So that's the price there. When Excel isn't rounding it up, $1,000 would have got you 63,451 tokens. This is what, you know, the reason why I was so wounded on this particular project. It's 32 cent now, which means that you would have just over 20K. This is one that I didn't invest in, but I am going to be investing in the bear market, right? Do join us. Okay, so the fifth project is EGold. Now, we did highlight EGold on the 11th of December 2020. It was just over $14 or almost $15. If you spent $1,000, you'd have got 67.47 EGold. EGold is now worth 267, but it has been as high as $540, which means right now you'd have $18,000. Not bad. I mean, what bank can beat that? Now, can you guess the sixth one, right? Really interested to know. So let's have a look. Hero. So we first started talking about Hero on the 25th of July 2021. It was just under 1.5 cent. $1,000 would have got you 69,881 tokens. The price at the moment is 16 cent to 7 at the time of recording. That would have returned you just over 11 grand. So really interesting stuff. Now, you might not have guessed all of those, but you know, this one is the standout one for me. I expect huge gains. Again, same with ETH, in the respect I expect this to almost double, if not more. But you know, that isn't all, right? If we have a look, if I unhide these, right? So if you you know, basically, you know, ETH is, you know, at the highest point it's been since I highlighted it. If you had sold Harmony when it reached 38 cent, you'd have had almost 91 grand. If you sold ETH at its highest point, you'd have just over 26. If you sold chilies at 78 cent, you'd have had almost 50k. This is what I'm saying, right? This is huge numbers. If you'd sold EGold at the 538, you'd have 36k. And if you'd sold EGold at 24 cent, you'd have had 16k, right? So let's be honest, right? If you purchased $1,000 worth of each one of these coins, you'd have almost 300k. Now, if you sold them all at the peak, you'd have almost 400k. So I really wanted to just sort of highlight this because ultimately being around in the bear market is so profitable, right? There's so much opportunity in a bear market to be getting into these projects and making huge gains. Now, I know that there's going to be people saying, well, what about if I got into all the other projects? Well, I have done all the hard work and looked at all the projects we've called out on this channel. If you had invested $1,000 in every single project, you would have $431,321. If you sold them all at their peak after purchasing, after we talked about them at their peak, you'd have $667,825. So, you know, don't go hating on the you know, us or the channel, because ultimately this has been a fantastic year for Cheeky Crypto and hopefully a fantastic year for you guys. Now, we expect this to continue, and the message of this video is really be around in the bear market. That is where generational level wealth is made. You know, we're going to be here for the rest of the you know, the bull cycle, the rest of the bear market, and we're going to be going into the next bull cycle with a huge portfolio, and we would love to have you come along for the journey. Do let me know what you think of these projects. Do let me know what you think of Harmony One. Do you agree, disagree with what I'm saying? Do let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, mash that like button. We really do hope that you have a fantastic Christmas and a fantastic New Year, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.